What is good, Clutter people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam dropping a solo tape, and I'm not even talking about a whole lot of Bob or music at all. I'm talking about that OnlyFans tape, bobbalamnudes.com/pimpoutyyoho. Not joking. Aside from all that though, I thought it was time, since Lil Uzi Vert has been previewing a lot of music lately, and it's all solo, so I thought that we would talk about how Uzi's next album, and I'm not talking about the collab tape with Future, is already in the works, and I think it might be dropping relatively soon. Maybe not this year, but in 2021 we definitely got something coming. So without further ado, Lil Uzi Vert's next solo project, let's talk about it. Okay, so nothing has really happened necessarily in the news that I thought, was breaking enough to the point where it's confirmed that Lil Uzi Vert is dropping the next solo project, but I just wanted to put it all in your radars because I definitely think that it's in the works, considering Uzi has been posting a lot of snippets lately, and they're all by himself. Like, I haven't even seen any promo with Future, which is supposedly the next collab tape. Now, I do think that we might be getting the collab tapes with Future first, considering if we're treating 2020 like 2016, like Uzi even said himself, then we would be getting something similar to what 2016 was project-wise, which was Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World, the Perfect Love tape, and then he followed up with a 1017 vs. the World collab tape with Gucci Mane. So to fulfill this same little run of projects like he did that year, this year, it would be Eternal Take, Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2, which he has already dropped, and then the collab tape with Future, which the next theory is that he's dropping on November 20th on Future's birthday, and y'all know why if you've watched previous videos on this channel. But anyway, I thought we would look at the snippets, or listen to the snippets together, just in case some of y'all haven't seen them, because I know a lot of y'all don't follow my Instagram news page, Bobbalam News, if you haven't already. But some of y'all don't even use Instagram, so again, let's just listen to them here as well and vibe out with all of the Bob gang. Almost 70K. Let's get it.
I understand college young so I might go for a Kindle. These niggas like shit, I'm like an iPad, that boy like a Kindle. I'm so high, man, I try to make dollars on there, I couldn't give me okay, I'm back, walk with the dog, I smoking on some dusty, dog, and I had a roll up.
Now, Uzi posted this on his actual Instagram, like feed post, not necessarily just on his story, which he does a lot, where he posts something for like literally 3 seconds and then deletes it, so none of the people can cop the nudes of like the very sly picture of his ween in the bottom right corner or something like that. But this is definitely the best snippet by far, in my opinion, and it sounds like old Uzi. And I know a lot of people are hating on the times where I say that on Twitter, because I say it's old Uzi, and it's not necessarily old Uzi. This is Baby Pluto. Obviously, he's progressed past the point of old Uzi, but what I meant was it's very reminiscent of his old sound, in that if you hear the ad-lib or the way that it's mixed and just the way that he comes off, it sounds like he's all leaned out when he says yeah. Gives me flashbacks to the old Uzi that we know and fell in love with back in the day in 2015, 16, 17 with Love is Rage 2 and all the projects before that. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about, so don't come at me with this is new Uzi. Obviously it's new Uzi, but he's going back to the old flow, especially because if we recall, we went over this a few videos ago, Lil Uzi recently came up to us on Twitter saying, I thought I did, I never left the dark side, meaning he never left the dark side, which was Demon Uzi, aka the person who told us in concert, like, everyone who listens to me is going to hell with me, and that was way back in like 2017 after he dropped Love is Rage 2, I believe. So it's again another hint towards the fact that he's going back to his old style, because he knows people want that, and that's actually why he dropped Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2 after Eternal Take, because some of the old fans were calling Eternal Take mid, since it wasn't necessarily the style that again we fell in love with back in the day. So he dropped Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2, which was all the snippets that we've been wanting all along throughout the years, like Myron, Lotus, Bean, aka Kobe, Rolly, Moon Relay, Come This Way, Trap This Way, and the list goes on. And by the way, we're gonna get into what I think the projects are very soon in this video, so don't click off just yet. 4, we have some more proof that he's going to the old style, and again, we already went over this in a previous video, so it's just a little bit of review, but on his Instagram story, a fan said, Uzi, go back to your 16, 17 stuff, please. And he said, okay, fine, I will start tonight. So this is just a little rebuttal to all y'all who are saying that this is not old Uzi, because I keep saying it is, and even Uzi agrees that this is old Uzi. Now onto the other snippets. So Uzi has posted 2 more snippets on his Instagram story. One is kind of a sample with a Nicki Minaj song, I believe, and the other one sounds like it's straight off the Perfect Love tape. So it could be that Perfect Love tape 2 that coming in 2021, if that's even a thing. But if y'all recall from a long time ago, Uzi's label and or his management have already created the domain for the Perfect Love Tape 2 fan link, so that's already ready to go. If they ever wanted to drop that, it's not really hard to set that up on a site that you already own, but still is something to hope for. So let's get into this Perfect Love Tape-esque snippet.
I get so high, sometimes I can see the Lord. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, stacking so high, I can't even see the floor. Yeah, niggas hate, of course. Yeah, I feel like Stevie can't even see no more. Yeah, pull up in a Rari, pedal to the floor. Yeah, and I drive this Rari like it's on a course. Yeah, fucking on this bitch, then she lost her voice.
Even the little skirt ad-lib sounded exactly like old Uzi, and it really shows how diverse he is and skilled he is to be able to go back to the old flow, because a lot of the artists that we want to hear, like their old sounds, say like for example Trippie Redd. Now I loved the Pegasus album, as y'all already know from my reviews on the second channel. By the way, go subscribe to that and watch the videos if you haven't already. But you can't deny that the old Trippie back in like A Love Letter to You 2 and 1 and Life's a Trip, all of those older projects were absolute flames. Like 1469 Poles, that era with like the very screechy Trippie, you know, it's definitely a very inherited trait or whatever it's called, where like at first you hate it but then you grow to love it and it doesn't appeal to the pop. But all the old Trippie fans loved that shit, including myself. So the fact that Uzi can go back to that era, whereas Trippie hasn't necessarily gone all the way back to that era as successfully as Uzi just has, it just shows how easy music is for Uzi and how much of the GOAT he is, if that made any sense. But now to the last snippet that was apparently a Barbie sample, aka Nicki Minaj.
Real bad Barbie, pushing a pink Ferrari. When we was in Panama, romantic like a Harley. Took that girl to Africa, got left like safari. Yes, I got the baddest bitch in America. Just ex. Yeah.
Now, that wasn't my favorite snippet out of it, but it's still flyer, not gonna lie. I mean, everything that comes out of Uzi's mouth is pretty flames, objectively speaking, that is. Oh, and something else I forgot to mention on the second snippet that we went over with the Perfect Love tape, it even has the very like xylophone fruity beats that he used to do again on the Perfect Love tape and Verse the World with like Don Cannon. I don't know who the song was produced by. It may have the producer tag in the snippet, but still, it looks like he's going back to his roots. So be ready for another solo project of old Uzi flow. We talking melodies, we talking about the leaned out flows, we talking about the all the shit that we love. I don't want to hear no lyrical Uzi anymore. I want to hear that fucking Uzi. And lastly, something we also went over on the second channel was Uzi's new profile picture, which is actually an old picture of Uzi, which could mean he's going back to the old flow. But also, if you check out the symbol that Uzi's throwing up, Baby Uzi is throwing up, and we're not talking about Baby Pluto, we're talking about Baby Uzi, because this is way before the Pluto shit. He's holding up the Illuminati triangle, which is also a symbol for the devil or demon Uzi, potentially another reference to him going back to his old style on this next project. Now onto what the projects could be. In that, as we said before, Future and Uzi might be dropping the next tape, which is going to be on November 20th or potentially November 13th, because Uzi said recently on his Instagram story, I guess I gotta drop 2 after he found out that Rich the Kid and NBA Youngboy are dropping on November 13th. And since he got a beef with Rich the Kid, he gotta make him flop every time he drops, so he might have to do that. But I don't think that he's ready necessarily for a solo tape or project, considering it hasn't really been that much time since Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2 or Eternal Atake. He still needs, a few more months, at least in my opinion, in 2021 to drop this next solo tape. But hey, maybe the Future collab tape is completely canceled, considering the July 31st drops of Over Your Head and Protect somewhat flopped. And I'm talking about sales wise, like they weren't bad songs, but they didn't even reach the Hot 100 Billboard. And with the star power of Future and Uzi, you would think that that would be a pretty easy feat. But then again, they didn't really promote it that much, so I can't even say anything about that. But aside from all that information. I still think that it's possible, even though Uzi doesn't have enough time to drop a whole solo project on November 13th or 20th, that he could be dropping a single just to, let Rich the Kid know who's boss. And in regards to the next full project, I think that the next solo project, if it is part of the series that he's already released, such as like Love is Rage, The Perfect Love Tape, Verse the World, I don't think he'll drop another Verse the World next year, considering he just dropped the second one this year. But I think Love is Rage 3 might be upon us, especially with the type of music and old flow that he's been previewing lately. It only seems fitting to go back to the old flow on an old series. But as we discussed before on the second snippet, that did sound very Perfect Love Tape-esque, so Perfect Love Tape 2, in correlation with the domain already being created, could very likely be the next solo project, but I would be happy with either. But that's about it for today, because today was completely theoretical. I mean, there's no information that would tell us what's actually going on, but I thought I would bring up the discussion for all the Uzi fans to start speculating on what color dreads he's gonna have next year, or what shape he's gonna shave his pubes into, everything but the music, because who gives a fuck about that? Not joking. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam signing off, canceling my collab tape with JT on OnlyFans because she be disrespecting Uzi on Twitter. They toxic as hell, not gonna lie. But let me know in the comments what you think the next solo Uzi project is gonna be, and do you think the future collab tape is canceled, given, it's already November and I don't see any promotion. And make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest hip-hop news, drama, and analysis videos, as well as to follow me on all my socials in the description, to join the Bob Gang if you with it. Peace out, cut people. Know what I'm saying?